Okay, all right. Hey guys, good morning. Thank you for having us here in this early morning. Thank you for waking up so early. It took me a real struggle to wake up this morning as well, especially after last night's party. So, I don't know, there is some technical issues, so apologies for that. Uh, by the way, I think this is our seventh year here. We have been coming here since 2018, I guess. So, thank you again. All right, so let's start about the talk, and we'll start with introductions. So my name is Himanshu. I have been doing bug bounties since like 10, 12 years. I've been Google Hall of Fame, Microsoft, Uber. I've been like hacking all of them since like 10 years now. I've written a few books. They became bestsellers. I don't know who is buying them, guys. So And yeah, of course, so then I moved to crypto. I do a little bit of blockchain security, Web3 security as well. I'm recently now jumping and moving towards the Web3 bug bounty scenarios as well. So that is my transition there. And yeah, so that's enough about me, guys. I'll let Rahul introduce and then we'll do the presentation.
Hi guys, so my name is Rahul and this is some information about me. I work for a financial institution in the United Arab Emirates. So we are the largest financial institutions in the Middle East and I've been working there as offensive security manager. So I manage the offensive security team. It's not too big, but yeah, it's quite a good team. And I've been working with malwares and offensive security from quite a while, like more than 5 years. And yeah, I've been in a Hall of Fame for Microsoft, Zscaler, and some other companies as well, for mainly like in memory and other stuffs. And recently we started AI and ML exploitation as well. So yeah, that's all about me. There's nothing much. And yeah, we can start.
All right,
Yep.
then coming to the presentation. All right, so I'm gonna be here. We are going to be disappointing you for the next 45 minutes with a very boring PPT which we made 1 hour ago. So let's start with the, phishing. So we do a lot of red team. I'm sure you guys have also done a lot of red team. In our cases, majority of the breaches or the scenario that we are able to gain entry into any corporation is through phishing. Because in the end, I personally feel that instead of going out and trying a complicated exploit, it's easier to target a weak human link in the organization. And humans are also, I think, curious by always, so they just can't stop themselves from clicking a link when it's very, when it contains very important information, or when it presents them an award, or when it's especially related to compliance. So some of the people like us end up clicking it. I will tell you stories which we have done phishing. So this is a screenshot like of two different phishings that we have done in the UAE, and this one is, I think, in the US. So of course, so everybody knows what phishing is. It's a fake email or a fake attempt in the order to steal your credentials or make you trick into clicking, whether it used to be Facebook and Instagram earlier. Now it's become much more complex. People try to steal your corporate credentials. They try to steal your MFA credentials, like authentication codes. They also, so now phishing has become even more complex. When it comes to Web3, they are trying to steal your wallets. So how many of you guys actually have been in, like, are starting to move to Web3 and are doing crypto a little bit? All right, one guy. That's progress. So the way Web3 works, the attacks get very complicated, especially when it comes to phishing. So it's more like somebody is trying to send you fake transaction. They keep on sending you transactions with the same address, similar looking address, hoping that one day when you have to send money to the same guy again, you will not ask his address. Instead, you will look at your history and copy the fake address and send it to him. So the attacks are becoming very complicated. And of course, so we'll try to come to that and cover that part as well. And we will also cover some of the, I would say, normal defenses which are in place right now. Then how we bypass those defenses in some of the cases that we have done these red teaming. Then we will also look at, in the end, towards the end, we'll look at an AI model sort of AI trained model which we have built, which captures and identifies and sort of blocks these attempts totally on its own. So if you get such a link in your email, you just copy the link. If you're unsure, you put it in the AI, and then it tells you the whole scenario of what is going on in the backend. So we'll try to cover up of how we did all of this. So let's start with the most basic. Of course, what is the type of phishing? Bulk phishing is that when you get a list of email IDs, you start throwing it everywhere across the organization, hoping that somebody will fall to it. Then you have spear phishing, when you really study a client and you read all about him, his habits, and then you target him specifically for something he likes. So there was a case in US where two guys stole $260 million by like chasing a person down for like 6 months. They studied him really well. They stalked his social media accounts. They stalked his corporate profile. They figured out what he does. They figured out how he does it, when he goes, what he likes. And after 6 months, they sort of sent him a phishing link, very targeted. He clicked it. He gave all his secrets, and they were able to steal $260 million from that one guy. Of course, he was a very rich guy. Then you have phishing, where you phone call a person and try to trick him into giving your credit card numbers. So the stereotypes, of course, all the call centers, Indians are doing it, I would say. And then we have SMSing, where you get a fake SMS. Now, of course, in some scenarios, there is a mix and match of this. Like in one case where we sent a phishing email, it was a very big, of course, payment organization. They had mobile wallets. We sent them a phishing email. The people were trying to, like the main guy who was the sort of head of IT, he actually fell for it. He submitted his credentials, but that was his personal wallet. We could not get his organizational wallet because he submitted the wrong phone number. So what we did, we pretended to be an employee from like a different department, saying that, oh, you know, we are the QA, we have deployed this new API. Can you, we saw that you are trying to log in, but we are unable to see your wallet balance, how much you're holding. Is this not your corporate account? So this guy on phone call said, oh, I'm so sorry, you are from the team. I gave you the wrong phone number. Can you please send a new link to this phone number? I will log in with my corporate account. So this guy on call again put his official phone number. He sends us an OTP. We asked for the OTP on phone call. He gave us the OTP, and then we were able to log into the corporate account and like had access to the corporate funds of that mobile wallet that we were targeting, sort of doing red team for. Yeah. So this is a very basic diagram of how a life cycle of a like phishing, the whole phishing works. You have a victim who you send the email to. The victim puts the credential in the fake website. Now the attacks are, because the attacks are becoming a little more complicated. In this case, you can also sort of add redirectors, which will take care that if a SOC team, somebody from the, if you're doing a red team activity and somebody from the blue team sees the link in the same email, or is somebody monitoring it and they try to visit it, the link will actually not open, give a 404, or redirect it to some fake website, or maybe a real login as well, just to make sure that it's not caught very early. And of course, the next stage is when the guy actually enters his credentials, we are able to also steal the 2FA code, like which pops up, and then the guy who is doing all this is actually redirected to the real session as well, so that he does not doubt the fake login page at all. So we get the credentials, he gets logged in, and the SOC team goes to a 404 fake page. So these kind of attacks are very difficult to detect or prevent. So we'll talk about it in a while. So of course, the impact of phishing has been huge, especially in the last few years. We have millions of dollars stolen from the organization. There were people who were basically able to submit fake invoices to companies like Google, Microsoft, and convince them that we are the real vendors, please pay us instead. And it was done as well. They paid about $100 million to all these fake vendors as well. So even Google fell for it. So we are, you know, just humans. And of course, healthcare, education, you can steal a lot of data. Especially in the UK, like this Europe region, we have GDPR. The rules are getting strict, but the attacks are also getting complicated. Of course, so yeah. So what measures do we already have right now to prevent such kind of things? I'll talk a little bit about it, then I'll like hand it over to Rahul, so he can tell you how we bypass these measures, and then we will discuss the rest. So yeah, of course, we have DKIM, we have SPF, we also have a DMARC, which makes sure that the email which are coming from is whitelisted and it's allowed, the sender IP is verified, then the email is actually coming from the right source and all of this. These checks are there, but a lot of organizations that we have seen or done this activity for, a lot of times one or the other check fails, which is why we are able to send a phishing email which lands in their inboxes. So these checks are actually, although they are very easy to configure, it takes about 30 seconds to configure them, but a lot of people miss it. And this is where the actual phishing scenario starts. If these checks fail in your domain name, we can spoof and land a fake email in your inbox directly instead of it hitting the spam. Now, of course, the next is the by default protection filtering, which exists nowadays. We have spam filtering, we have content filtering. So we also have like all these G Suites and O365 these days have started picking up behavior as well. So they pick up suspicious keywords, or they pick up the overall theme of the email to, and they block some keywords. So in case you are trying to do a phishing attack or an attempt and the email is landing in a spam, so it is probably because your email is getting picked up by all these spam filters. It is either detecting the link which you have and analyzing it and sending it to maybe spam or quarantine, or some of the keywords that you have used. So for example, urgent, send money, it could be anything. It can be configured as well in your organization. These are being picked up. So from the attacker side, the whole designing of the emails are also becoming a bit complex. You have to do a hit and trial, you have to do a lot of testing, and before you actually end up landing an email in the inbox. Of course, so then we have MFAs in place. I think almost all of the organizations now use MFA, of course, but I'll tell you another case. So we were doing this red team attack for a very huge client, which had a lot of everything configured really well. There were all security measures in place. Everything was going really well. So what we did to, I will tell you the failures first. So we sent an email. Of course, we tried one email. It failed. Everything landed on the spam, and nothing actually got delivered. So what we did, we took a very old domain, which we bought like 7-8 years ago. We warmed it up a little by sending real emails, real campaigns to real users who were clicking it, actively reading it, to warm up the whole email servers. Then because now the inbox ratio was high and the domains were really old, we had a reputed domain. We took that domain, then we sent a real phishing email, and we were able to capture the credentials. With, of course, we have Evil Jinx, we have GoFish and all of that. And then we also got the MFA, multi-factor authentication was enabled everywhere. We got that, but we were not able to log in because somehow it was detecting the IP and the overall behavior that you have a proxy, you have a VPN, and they were blocking us. It kept asking us to re-verify the 2FA again and again. So we were stuck. Then we did some more, of course, OS intelligence. We tried hunting for a domain. There was this particular portal which was sort of linked to SSO. And we found that the same credentials of the employees worked on this portal. And this portal, if you use the office IP, if you go near the office and connect to the office network, even as a guest, it will not show up the 2FA at all. So we use the same credentials. We logged in into that SSO portal from a range of a public Wi-Fi in the office network, like a guest Wi-Fi in the office network, and it did not ask for a second factor authentication. Now we were able to log in. But because this portal had SSO, it was also linked to all other portals like SharePoint, their emails, and all other internal panels. We were then able to log into all of that through one click. We did not have to submit the passwords again. We were able to access all the other portals because of this single web panel with MFA disabled. Okay, of course. Then you have network-based protections. where the packets are checked, and we have filtering, various sorts of filtering, all of these devices in place, all of these hardwares and softwares in place to do all the filtering for you. Then there are teams, SOC teams, monitoring everything. They have alerts, they have quarantines in place. Uh, I believe there are a lot of tools nowadays, like email authentication, which do
Defender for email.
yeah, of course. So which actually check for all these failures in configuration that you might have. Then they pick up from these failures. They actually capture all these failed email attempts and they give you it all on the dashboard. So yes, of course there is that. Now I'll hand it. I've been speaking for so long. I'll let Rahul speak for a while and show you all the evasion of how we do it. Over to you, Rahul.
Yep. Thank you, Himanshu, for the long, boring talks. So, as we talk about defenses, like Himanshu told us about, there are a lot of defenses that checks your IP, your email, sorry, your domains, mainly the categorization. For example, you're a financial organization. You cannot allow, like, for the booking websites, entertainment website like Netflix, WhatsApp, something like this. So the first thing that comes in your mind when you're doing a phishing attack or a simulation or setting up an environment, the most important thing is the domain that you're using. It has to be perfectly managed, it has to be perfectly aged, and the DNS entries for that particular domain has to be that much efficient and reputed so that your domains, emails that you're sending in from that particular domain will just go right in the inbox. No spam, no checks. The first thing is the domain. So how can you just find a domain, something like it's aged and it has reputation, something like this? So the first thing that comes in the mind is domain farming. You buy a domain, you redirect it to some, for example, Microsoft.com, BlackRock.com, or some bank on using the Cloudflare workers. Keep it for a while and just say on Zscaler, Blue Coat, and all these proxy that people are using in organizations that, okay, this is a financial domain, this is a technological domain, this is X domain, Y domain. So after some time, you will see that this particular domain that you bought now categorized as financial category. Financial category, you cannot block anywhere in any company. Even if you're a bank, even if you're a technological company, you need financial institutions to be accessed from your company. So that's how you do the first line of bypass with domain. Second. Next thing is, if you are in a hurry and you cannot do this particular thing, second thing is you can buy the deleted domains that is available in the marketplace, available very easily, and they have reputations. They don't have IOCs, they have a very good history, and they were just abandoned by the companies. So you can buy it from like deleteddomains.net, but you have to check a lot of things, a lot. How old is the domain, and what's the domain categorization, which geolocation R is from, the domain is from, and is the domain have some particular IOC with it, or the domain, like in the past, it was used for some malicious activity or not. Things like these. You have to be very cautious about that. So it's done until here. You have a perfect domain now. Now it comes with setting up your SMTP server. So for example, if you want to set up your own SMTP server, you need a lot of time, a lot of fix, a lot of setup for SPF, DMARC, TKIM, and you have to create your DNS entries, and the server has to be old, and like a lot of work. And you have to just mature your server by sending emails, and then there are filters over where you're sending emails. For example, I have SMTP server, I just set it up, and I'm sending emails to all of my friends. Some of them have Defender, some of them have Zscaler, some of them have some other proxy software or Defender software, so they might block it. So my domain or my IP will get blacklisted, and then the SPF record will get, like will block it for sure. So you can use third-party vendors, softwares, which we have available, which is SendGrid, Amazon, Mailgun, SMTP. So we use something like this and authenticate our domain. Second. Yeah. Next is the phishing tool set. We all know GoFish, we all know EvilGenix, but there is a mixture of that, both of the tools, which is called EvilGenix, with which you can even relay the tokens. Not like you can bypass MFA very easily. Second, okay. Most important, how you'll set up all these things. You know how to buy a domain, you know how to set up your email server, but how to set up a complete infrastructure with for phishing so that you will not get blocked and you will get a lot of credentials for your simulation exercise. First thing is setting up the GoFish. It's simple and it's available on the internet. You can see GoFish with your domain, with all the subdomains that you want to do, and basic flags, user ID, SID, and everything like this. So once you set up, you'll get a login and panel. You log in, you'll set up your credentials, you'll set up your emails, authentication codes, everything like this. Second is the EvilGenix, which is responsible for relaying your credentials and setting up your Outlook, your LinkedIn, and like phishing pages. So over there you can see Airbnb, Amazon, Booking.com, Cisco, VPN. They're all phishing pages. Okay, you select one, you enable one, and you'll have a running phishing outlet for the rest of your simulations. Next one. So also in red teams we have seen we have used a lot of tools, but there are IOCs. There are certain strings in that particular tool that is flagged. And it's by purpose over there. Developers by purpose they set up these strings so that this tool can be detected. If you use GoFish, okay, you set it up, you do everything, and then you start sending emails. You will see in a packet header there is GoFish written, straight away flagged. Right within a second, it will not land in the inbox. So there are certain IOCs that we have changed. First is, can you go to the back slide? Yeah. First is the user ID, that is the main IOC that the GoFish have. We change it with some token or some any value that you want. Then we have default headers for GoFish. We change it to some other headers, change it to none, anything like this. And then the email body also have some default signatures that we have deleted and added more of them. Then after that, we have configured our SMTP service so that our GoFish can send emails and capture all the tokens and credentials and just get the API token for that. Next one. Okay. Then we start the campaign. So this is one of the red team that we did. It's only for 5 people. Very, very targeted red team. 5 people using that whole thing, little bit of bypassing. We get 5 credentials. This is the email, how it looked like. It went straight to the inbox. It was saying, you have done great and you have received some rewards. It was like, we have 100% success ratio in that. And after that, if you'll see. Signature basically said that it's from the global CEO. Yep. Just if you can see down, if you can zoom a little bit, if you can see it's from the global CEO, and the like no filters, no tools were able to bypass it. And in the backend, here you can see we have username and credentials from all the users that we have fished. And then if you'll go the next slide, we were able to log in their Outlook. So their email just got hacked. We have the credentials from their CTO who went into that email trap. And then we have all the trade secrets of the company. Some passwords, some VPS server password, and like vCenter passwords, and all the EC2 passwords, things like these. So the final architecture, after everything we set up, everything we did, is something look like this. So we have Apache proxy, which stops all the traffic which we are not interested, which is not GoFish traffic. It will divert it to a fake website, for example, Microsoft.com. And if it's a GoFish traffic, if it's a legit traffic from the company, it will go to our EvilGenix server. The victim sends the password, username and password. It will go to the legit websites, okay, relay it back, get the token, then EvilGenix server relay the token back, okay, and that's how it will look like that it's a real login, not a fake one. He thinks that it's a real one, and it is a real one. We're just relaying in, sitting in the middle, getting his token. And with that, we can log in to his email later on when he's gone. So how you can stop it? You are buying a lot of software. You are buying proxy, you are buying EOP, you are buying DLP, everything like this, but you're not able to stop it. Very simple attack, available in public. All the tools are there, all the techniques are there, and yes, but what's the difference? So as Himanshu mentioned, it's easy to fool a human being than a piece of code. So that's why we have designed this LLM model, which will do the behavioral analysis for your emails, which contain URLs, which contain links. And in the backend, it will have a very big model, real-time model that updates like every day, I think.
Yes.
Yes.
Basic design of how if you want to use your own LLM model. For some reason the mic is not working. Anyways, so this basically is a very base layer architecture of how you guys can set this up on your own in your organization. Even if you don't have to, if you don't want, because of compliance issues, you don't want to submit all these emails that you're getting and the content that you have might be confidential, then you can have your own localized version of this LLM. And this is an overall architecture of how we are doing it and how we are training it. And of course, there's a lot of things behind because now it's a sort of a commercialized tool. But this is very basic of how we started and how it can be implemented into any organization without the need of submitting the data online. So of course, then what we did was we created we got the model. We sort of started training it by sort of using Selenium to get all the prints of what the emails are coming. Then the Selenium takes the print. It fetches all the texts. It reads the behavior from it, and it also takes the link and tries to read the web page and the domain reputation and everything else. We fetch the text. We sort of sense the we do a whole sentimental analysis nowadays, but we try to catch the overall behavior of what has been doing. Then we also check whether this person who has sent you an email right now has actually talked to you before or not. So we we do a lot of these checks, and if in case this person has always been talking to you, for example, you and your colleague has always been in the email chains all the time, but then suddenly your colleague sends you a welcome message or a link, right? So this AI will pick it up, will basically say that even though it's your colleague, the link looks suspicious because the domain is not very old or the domain reputation is not correct. Or it can also say that the colleague is emailing you from a suspicious email ID or the SPF checks may have failed. So all these things are picked up and you get an alert, and that's where the whole model is working. And that's why I believe this model has done the best sort of prevention so far,
98% success rate.
because the user gets alerted before they click the email. The pop-up comes, so that's why a lot of users have stopped now clicking the email at all.
So when we started, it was just a box, like it was just a server over the internet. It has a dialog box, so you can just paste your URL. You have to do it manually before that, and you have to submit your URL, and then the backend AI engine will search for do the sentiment analysis for that particular website or the link. So it was like one of the phishing email that we have received from geopolitical region that we have restricted, but still it went through. So we have given to the AI model, and then it's the analysis that
This
we've
is the
got.
sort of result that we have categorized so far, which gives nowadays that what the URL says, what the branding says, what are the indicators of failure, what is the overall score out of 10. So, like, this is how we have been doing things, and so far, out of all the tools and protections that we have in place, I personally believe that this has worked the best.
Yep.
So now what we are doing is we have converted this single URL filter
Into an email
into
API.
an API, as well as into a plugin which plugs into your O365 as a small button or a G Suite. And then as soon as the email comes and you have the permissions, it will automatically do the analysis and give you a small prompt on top of your email saying that this person has never emailed you before, be careful. Or this person does not seem genuine, this email seems fake,
Yep.
this link is fake, be careful. So
This email seems to be a phishing email. This email is from a different region that you are not. So some basic checks I'll tell you about. It will check the region that the email is coming from. It's check the server's IP. If it's recently bought or not, then it checks the analysis, like it will check the URL. That URL is from certain category, URL from certain region over the where your company doesn't operate. The and also the branding of the URL, if it's perfect or not, or it's like not related to my work or not, ethics or not. So a lot of things like this. This is just the basic that we have started with. Now it's like doing crazy things.
Yeah,
to be
so if
very
you guys
honest.
want to do it on your own, so I believe the first check where the failures happen is the homoglyphs. URL characters look the same, but it's not. The A might be different, the E might be different, something like that. So instead of humans picking it up, this picks it up really well that
Yep.
using the char code that this is not the correct URL. So this is, I believe, the upcoming future of the phishing defense
Detection.
mechanism or a defense layer that you might have or you should have on top of existing protocols. We of course do not say that you need to replace or stop all your gateways right now or firewalls right now and start using this. But this could be an added layer because of course you can never prevent 100% attack. There will be, we have done attacks where all these were present. What we did was we created a genuine email trail. We sort of hacked into one of the SMT servers and we created a genuine employee email trail. And then it looked like it was sent to an entire, I would say, department. And then suddenly the CEO steps in or the department head steps in the email trail saying, oh guys, this has been going on for so long. Please, add the, upload the document here so that I can review and finish this task. And so people panic and they start uploading the documents there. So this has also happened where the trail is real. All the emails before are real, but then suddenly one email comes in. And then once the department head sends the fake email, we also send a real email from a real employee sort of by attacking the SMTV services, confirming that, hello, sir, I have uploaded the documents as requested. So then all of the others follow. So it's all I would say, a sort of
Following the sheep.
psychological warfare, I would say.
Following
Yeah.
the sheep game.
Yes. So I think I believe this is the end of our talk.
We
We are
kept it
ahead
very
of our
short.
time.
Yep.
Anybody has any questions? Either you guys understood it all or nobody understood anything. Yes, please. Yes,
Yes.
yes. Because in the end you are getting a link, right? So this AI picks up the link.
So the analysis was credential harvesting. Final analysis for that
Yes.
particular link that we have sent to that organization was credential harvesting and phishing. Rated 9.5 out of 10.